What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Broscast, episode 265. We've got a big episode for you guys today. My name is Harrison. I'm joined by my brother Nick, as always. Nick, how are you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? I'm doing great. Wonderful weather.
Great weather today. Yeah,
and today.
Yeah, weekend was great. Obviously, we had our parents' annual. They call it Putnam Palooza, but it's like a little yard party with some music, live music and stuff like that. It was a good time.
Food truck
Was great.
Yeah, food truck was great. Very messy.
Yes,
very messy.
Yeah, I had they had alligator fries, which I think that was relatively new. So I got that, and they were super good, super messy, like you said, but it was delicious.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Music was really great. Weather was perfect.
Perfect, yeah. When overly hot or it was perfect temperature.
Oh yeah. It's great. But you and I did this weekend and today.
What's that?
I went rollerblading.
Hell yeah, dude! Rollerblading is so much fun.
And just
where did you rollerblade in your neighborhood?
Yeah, so we have a trail in our neighborhood, and yesterday I went out blading. I hadn't gone to the end of the trail yet.
Okay.
So I put in the blades, went out there.
Nice.
I went all the way to the end.
Dude,
it was like 2 miles. Turned around, tried to take a longer way back, and then I was skating uphill for a little bit. I said, "Man, I can't do this." Turned around, got back on the trail a little bit. Tried to do it again. I was like, "Man, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I can't be on blades for more than an hour."
Yeah, they kill my feet in general.
Yeah, it's not comfortable.
Even on like a roll, like a roller rink or something. Like after about 45 minutes to an hour, like my feet start to get blisters like pretty quickly. Even if I have like thick socks on, it still messes me up. But yeah, rollerblading's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I went out today after work. Just went out for 15 minutes this time. Then when I was coming back to the house, we have this like big hill, and I power skated up the hill, and I was just so tired at the top of the hill. But it was great. It was a great time.
Nice. All right. Well, let's before we're obviously going to you've seen the title, but we're going to be doing our huge Clair Obscur Expedition 33 Spoilercast. So everything is off the table in regards to spoilers, but we'll announce that when we get to that portion of the show. Obviously, we've both been playing the hell out of Clair Obscur. That's the only thing I've been playing all week. I know Doom came out, and I was going to play a little bit today for the podcast, but I started playing Expedition 33 again, and then it turned into an hour and a half of me just messing around with the combat. Obviously, we both finished it. This is easily a lock, I think, for both of us for Game of the Year. One of our favorite games in a long time. It is obviously, recency bias and all that kind of stuff, but this game is just absolutely incredible.
I mean, I think this game is by far my favorite game since Tears of the Kingdom and Elden Ring. So
what about Metaphor, Silent Hill? Where do those kind of fit into there?
Metaphor is probably one below. Silent Hill, a couple more notches down. I'm trying to think of what other games came out last year. Indiana Jones, that one's up there.
Yeah, that one's good.
Definitely Clair Obscur above Metaphor. Not to say that Metaphor is not an exceptional game. It is. It's incredible, and
the combat's just better, I think, in this.
Yeah, I resonate with the combat more in Clair Obscur because of the parrying system, the dodging system, just how much you can change up your build and change up your character.
Yeah, it's crazy. Really cool. Once you get towards the end game, how much it changes, how much the combat changes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And I've done all the achievements in this game. I've effectively 100%ed it, gotten all my characters up to level 99, which was kind of a grind. There's this merchant in one of the final areas of the game that you can fight over and over again. I mean, you can fight all the merchants over and over again, but this one gives you 2 million XP each time you beat it. I probably fought this merchant 100 times, probably more, because I at a certain point I could beat the merchant in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
in one or two turns. So I just had to grind away at that for like 2 hours, and I got everyone up to 99. For the achievement, you only need to get one person up to 99.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier to do that. But before I went into New Game Plus and did that last achievement that I missed, the mime,
Yeah.
to get everyone up to 99, because I knew if I didn't, then I wouldn't really be able to do that until I got through the game again.
Yeah, and like,
okay, let me just do it now.
Yeah.
And I do plan to go through another, like to play it again with a different build. I don't know when I'll do that. I mean, I'm still at the point where I really don't want to play anything else, because coming off of Expedition 33, it's like nothing else is going to live up to it. So I've been like today I actually picked up my 3DS and picked up Bravely Default again.
Okay.
So I'd gotten 50 hours into that game. I was pretty deep into it. Like I'd gotten past that.
Like the very first one?
Very first one, yeah.
And see, well, I was the same way. Like I think once like the game like like I thought, like I guess I just thought the game like started over, like, and then but then you quickly realized that it didn't, and I never got past that point.
I got like a few chapters in apparently, and then I loaded up my save file and I was right at a big boss. So I just went through and defeated that boss and then closed it out, and then I booted up Final Fantasy 3 for a few minutes on the Switch because I have the Pixel collection. I was like, I'm just trying to fill the void with some sort of turn-based game. So maybe I'll start up Final Fantasy 6 and play that for the first time, or play Octopath
Which sorry, the internet kind of broke up. What Final Fantasy were you talking about?
I said I might pick up, or I might play Final Fantasy 6 for the first time.
Okay.
And see how that game feels. Might continue
you have the
with
collection, right, on the Switch?
Too. Yeah, I have the collection. Yeah, that one's cool. When you enter the cart, it gives you 6 different icons on the screen for each game. I thought it would just be like one game, you boot it up, and then it takes you to a menu. But
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. It does
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
sweet.
And then lastly, I did play the first 2 chapters of Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm not sold on it so far. It just wasn't really resonating with me. Like the I don't know, man. Maybe it was just my state of mind the night I was playing it or something. Not that I was in a bad mood or anything, but I just wasn't vibing with it too much. And
it just wasn't Expedition 33, Nick. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's the hard part about anything post Expedition 33. I mean, the combat feels pretty good. Like the parries are cool. I just need to get further into it. I need to get some more guns, get some more abilities, and just sit down with it for a little bit and play it. But
yeah. I'm probably gonna 100% Expedition 33 and then finish up Doom, because it's not a very long game. I think it's like 10 to 12 hours, so it's like not super long.
Yeah.
And then get that wrapped up for Switch 2. I mean, we're like a couple weeks away. Yeah, which is crazy. And it's a 3-day weekend this weekend, so I'll probably get it knocked out. So, but yeah.
So you haven't played anything else?
Nope, just Expedition 33.
All right.
I locked in. I had to lock in,
bro.
I had to lock in. Yeah, great game. Well, speaking of, do you want to do Last of Us or Spoilercast first?
Let's do Last of Us.
Okay.
First, I feel like that'll be a little bit shorter.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna jump into Last of Us season 2, episode 6 review, the flashback episode, if you will.
Full spoilers going ahead, I guess, for
full spoilers. Yeah, absolutely. I think we were talking about it before the show started, but this is probably my favorite episode. Probably right behind the Bill and Frank episode.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I like it. I'm not really sure if I like this one more or not. I mean, they're both pretty fresh because I did watch season 1 last week. I don't know. They're pretty on par with each other. Like I mean, that porch scene was just heart wrenching.
Yeah,
it broke me.
If you didn't tear up watching that, then I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah,
It's
and,
just
and even like
so good.
whenever they get to the museum and Ellie is got the recorder in and listening to the takeoff audio, and they pan over to Joel, and he's just got a tear just rolling down. I'm like,
Mhm.
God, man,
Perfect. Like just perfectly done. Like showing the birthdays year over year
yeah,
and
that was
seeing
perfect. Like, and
seeing Ellie change.
you kind of see like her, because like I mean we talked about in like episode 1 and 2, we're like, man, like Ellie is like kind of like insufferable, and she still kind of is. I mean, she's still like pretty annoying,
Mhm.
um, but I mean you get to see her like grow up essentially, with the birthday stuff, and she gets less, as kids, teenagers grow up, typically they get more attitude and
Oh
want
yeah.
more space. And I don't know. And you're also kind of watching Joel like learn and grow as well, because he
Mhm.
has we know whenever he gets caught, or she gets caught with that girl in the room, and she's like, oh, this is not an experiment for me. And then she starts moving her stuff out. At first obviously he's upset, and then he's like, you know what? After he kind of was laying there,
Calm down.
he's like, all right, maybe it is time, because this is about the time when Ellie would be going, a normal teenager would be going to college and stuff like that. So, you're going to be moving out eventually. So I thought it was
Just
cool.
had to
Like it was
accept it.
very, yeah, it was,
Yeah.
yeah, that whole scene with the porch. And I just think I think it was done way better than the game. The game was
I think so.
great, but just the way where it's paced in the show now, and we didn't have to wait for this specific scene until the very end of the
Mhm.
game. Yeah, man, what a performance by Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, and in that scene, Bella Ramsey too.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that was Bella's best performance so far.
I think really, like, there are some actors and actresses that when they are paired with another person, like it just like it
Brings out
I
the
don't know.
best.
Yeah, it brings out the best. And yeah, he was definitely missed throughout this season for sure.
He
But
really was. I
yeah,
think Dina filled a void to a certain extent, but
yeah,
it it just wasn't. It's not the same dynamic, and then that's really hard to recapture. I feel like that's part of what made the first season so special
yeah.
was that connection, and you just don't have that in this season. So I'm glad we got this episode. Glad we got to see like them transition as a you know parental a parent and a daughter throughout the years, and
Yeah.
like it gives more context too to Ellie's attitude, like with all the Eugene stuff. Like
Yeah, exactly. Like it was pretty like I mean,
it's pretty diabolical what he did. Like
yeah.
I mean, of course he was doing it to protect Jackson, like to protect the
I mean,
community.
personally, I think he was right in this scenario. Like,
Yeah, I think he
I
was
don't
right.
think he should have brought him back to like and risked anything, because I mean, he could have ended up transforming right there and bit bit the wife or whatever, and
It made
then
his wife watch, like making your wife watch that happen to you.
if he just didn't lie about it and say, hey, he
Like
wanted to
promise,
come
like trust
back.
me.
And yeah, because like, and that's also because I mean, Ellie always knew that Joel lied in that situation, and the fact that he was able to lie so quickly to her right in that moment just kind of like solidified like her, her assumptions about Joel and what really happened with the Fireflies.
I do think, and me and Alicia were talking about this, but the way she went about exposing him on his lie right in front of Eugene's wife. I can't
Yeah,
remember her name. Um, that was messed up. That was really insensitive, and that was mean. Like that was uncalled for. Like sure, call out Joel in private, but
yeah,
don't add insult to injury and just make the situation worse.
yeah,
That's my take on it. I mean, some people might think differently, but
yeah, yeah.
kind
I
of
mean, yeah, it was, but I think she was just so like just the fact that
so
he
mad.
lied so quickly and like so easily, like, and that was like the same look he gave her, like back way back then. So yeah, I mean,
Like
I get both sides. Like I thought the scene was fine, but Yeah, I mean, I agree with Joel. I think he should have died before coming to Jackson. But yeah, if he just didn't lie about it and just say, "Oh," and he took his own life, and blah blah blah.
He went out like a hero. He wasn't scared.
He wasn't afraid. He's like, no, he was literally the complete opposite of what
he was crashing out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
of course, yeah. Like who would? Like everyone would.
Yeah, it's tough, but yeah, just going back to the porch scene real quick. Like whenever she's confronting him about it, and he's so like distraught that he can't even answer her. He just kind of like nods, and like as he's like, I'm like, dude, this is crushing me.
Yeah, perfectly acted. And then when he goes into the, if I had the chance to redo it, I would do it again. I was like, oh my god, dude.
He's like, I love you. I was like, oh my god, dude. Like this is too much.
Do it again because I love you.
Yeah, this is too much. And then of course she gave like this, the line where, I don't think I can ever forgive you, but I'd like to try. And then it's like, just scene well done, man.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure like everybody on set that day had to have like goosebumps because
I'm sure they were crying.
It was that good.
Yeah,
it was incredible. Definitely one of the best scenes in the show and the series, by far. So yeah, I'm excited. Like I know I did watch like the sneak peek of the next episode, and I think you're right. I think it's going to end with
the confrontation
without any context, maybe, of what happened prior, potentially. I mean, is she going to be able to do all this, get to the aquarium in one episode and then come back?
I don't know.
It's kind of rushing it. It's only like a 50-minute episode.
So you think we'll get that context next season? Like see what Ellie does next season?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, unless it just cuts to them at the aquarium, but I think it would be crazier if we don't get that context and we get, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it. And maybe in the next season, like season 3 may just be all Abby. Like, and what,
it will be.
Yeah. Which that'd be really cool.
Abby and Lev.
Yeah.
Their whole story.
Yeah.
How did episode 5 leave off?
She killed Nora.
Right. Okay. So the start of the rampage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
I feel like they need to do like one more. It sounds kind of insensitive. They need to do one more murder to like really solidify the fact that Ellie is on a rampage, and then I feel like they could cut back into the theater, but based off what it showed.
I mean, she's got to deal with not Isaac, but the other one. But I feel like that happened at the. Didn't that happen at the TV station? And we've already been in that spot. I don't know.
I thought they found someone that had already been killed by Tommy at the TV station.
Oh, maybe that's the case.
Yeah, but I did hear that there was less people in the group, in Abby's group, in the show versus the game. So maybe they're like cutting some stuff out. I don't know.
Everybody was there. Mel, Owen, Nora, the one guy that punched Ellie in the face. Mm-hmm. He was there. I don't know about I don't know the other names of the people. So I feel like there was it was a decent crew, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting how they're. I don't know. I've liked the show so far. I've enjoyed the pacing of it. I think they've done for the things that they included and added into this season. The difference from the game, like seeing like Joel's dad and kind of like how, he was raised, and he's like, would you still beat us? And he's like, yeah, but it wasn't that bad. And then it kind of circles back when Joel's like, if you ever have a kid, do better than I did to you.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, just
that was a great addition.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And back to the crew real quick. Maybe they're not gonna show their deaths this season because they want to like build up the viewer's relationship with these characters, and then have the shock of Ellie coming in, and like maybe it's like it feels like a foreign attacker coming in because you spent so many episodes with these characters in Abby's group, and then Ellie comes in and like kills them, and there's like a shock factor there.
Yeah.
So maybe they do it that way instead.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited to see how they end off the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean they can go a couple ways about it. I mean they could do the big shock, from the game, or we see another member get killed and then it ends or something like that. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well let's move on to Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Man. This is the official spoiler portion. So if you have not beat this game, please skip ahead, because it's going to ruin it for you. Absolutely. Because there are some really, really, really cool revelations in this game. If you listen to our Act 1 Spoilercast, that was a huge moment. So you've been warned. Nick, let's go ahead and dive in. I'll have timestamps in the episode. So again, skip ahead. But yep. All right, let's officially start. So we ended our talk with Act 1 with Gustav getting killed. Crazy moment, super unexpected. I feel like only RPGs do this in games where a main character freaking dies.
I know,
or who you think is a main character at the time.
Sea of Stars even did that.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, so Gustav's killed, gets immediately replaced with Verso.
Immediately.
I mean, just slotted right in. Gustav never left.
Same weaponry,
same weapons, except now the weapons have abilities all the other characters, and he has a full skill tree, so that he's in it for the long haul.
Yeah, he's here to stay.
In hindsight, maybe we should have known, but I thought it would have been some narrative event that unlocked the rest of his skill tree, and turns out the narrative event was his death.
That was a pretty shocking moment. So yeah, it was very crazy. But I mean, where do you want to jump in? I mean, I guess the next big spot in the game, after you get to Esquier, which is, by the way, one of my favorite characters in a video game in a long time. Anytime he's on the scene, on the screen, I am not skipping dialogue because it's so funny.
I just want to hear his voice.
And I think they're making a plushie of Esquier, so I'm definitely picking that up.
Oh yeah,
because there's one the very end where Mael's holding it, and I think people are we should make that, and they're like, no, we're making this.
We can make some money off of that.
Yeah, that's huge.
Wait, so you're saying which part with Esquier?
Just whenever you meet Esquier, because you meet him after, or is it before?
Yeah, it's before.
Oh, that's right. And then you get the swim ability right after that moment. Okay, never mind. But yeah, obviously that was a fun scene.
But well, you go. I guess right after you get Verso, you go through the Forgotten Battlefield.
Yeah.
And then you get to Minoko's station, and you meet him.
Yeah.
And he's a friend of Verso. They've trained together, adventured together for a long time, and he recruits Minoko. Which that dialogue was really funny. Him recruiting Minoko, he's like, "There's gonna be fighting. There's fighting. I'm in. You're in."
Yeah. What's even after what's the Gestural that gets killed after
Noko
after Noko gets killed, and you take him to the river, and you fight is it Golga?
Yeah, it's Golga. Yeah.
It's Golga, okay.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I'm gonna fight you, whatever, and then Verso's like, do you need help? He's like, please help.
Okay, all this makes sense now that I know that he's a dog. Just his reactions and his the way he just quickly reacts, and
very quick,
very quick,
very snappy,
wants to fight, wants to play all the time.
Yeah,
it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Versus buddy.
Yeah.
So I guess after you go through all that, after you do Minoko, is that then when you go to the manor and fight Renoir again, or is there something that happens between that's big?
No, I think the manor's next.
Okay.
Yeah, you go to the manor. you confront Renoir again, and this is where he kills Noko, right?
Yeah.
And then you see
super tough fight, by the way.
That
the
was
first
a hard one.
Yeah, with that ability where he could make you disappear. Super frustrating if you didn't nail the timing of that. And
Right.
I think that's when you first get the. No, it's not the first time you get gradient encounter, but that's what you have to use is the gradient counter to get past it. But
and luckily, the gradient counter timing is a little bit more forgivable.
It definitely is for sure.
Forgiving.
Yeah,
which I did appreciate.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the big revelation there? Like you see, Verso's sister.
Well, you find out that Renoir is Verso's father. That's like
right. Okay. Yeah.
Reveal there. And then Alicia, is his sister. So that's kind of the big reveal there.
Did you see that coming? Did you expect that?
I mean, I didn't like. I wasn't shocked by it. It made sense.
It wasn't super.
It's like okay, you have this guy, and then like this old guy,
and then this girl, which is obviously close to you.
Yeah, it's like okay, maybe they're family members.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't. I didn't necessarily see it coming like a mile away, but I also wasn't. Like I said, wasn't like shocked at it.
Yeah.
But still cool. It's like okay, there's more going on to this than we realize. Like maybe So very cool.
It thickens the plot. Thickens the plot quite a bit. And then from there you go to the Axions.
Yep.
Which both of those were really cool fights. Like the dancer one
cool
was an awesome fight.
Yeah, the whole like level going through it, just seeing her in the background, just like dancing and stuff like that. That was a really, really cool, fight. Yeah, it was cool.
Which one was supposed to be the harder one?
I thought the mask one was the easier one because I think that's the one that was in the West. I think that's the one I did first. I
did that one first as well.
Okay,
that one didn't feel as hard.
No, yeah, it didn't feel nearly as tough. Which I mean, the dancing one wasn't actually that tough either, but
you just had to get it. Yeah, I mean, it's all about the timing.
Yeah.
Both of those areas were really cool. You defeat the Axions. Axons? I can't remember the
Axons.
Axons.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the curator who can make you a weapon that can pierce through the barrier to get to the paintress. And you've been coalescing with this curator that Mael found in the manor, and he's the one that's upgrading.
You don't know who he is at all.
Yeah. So very mysterious, but he's helping you out. So you're like, okay. And then from there, right, you make the weapon that can break the barrier, and you go to the monolith.
Yeah.
And then you get to the paintress immediately, right?
Yeah, you fight her like her big form, her large form, and you can't damage her. And then I think that's when you have to go like inside the monolith.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I will say, like, seeing her, like, when you get close enough on SKA, like, before you get into the monolith, of course, but like when you're in that area and you're looking at her and she's sitting down on the ground, her knees are up, her head's in her hands, or her head's in between her legs. That didn't seem like someone that was very evil.
Yeah, that's the moment I think they kind of implied it like, through conversation that I think maybe it was Mael, I can't remember who said it, but I think they said they felt sorry for her because she just looks like she's sad and she only ever gets up the one time of the year to change the number. So it's always kind of been like that vibe. Like she doesn't really seem like she's evil, but yeah, once you get up close to her, it's like, okay,
something's going on.
Something's going on. Maybe she's not the true villain of this game.
Yeah,
turns out nobody really is.
I mean, honestly, and you go through the monolith and you end up fighting the paintress, right?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, you fight the paintress. A couple of phases, and then on the last fight, the paintress
it's just her like laying like
yeah,
she's healing her party members. Like,
like, damn, like what am I doing? And then after you defeat the paintress, that's when there's the big revelation, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And the big revelation is that this entire world was a painted world that was painted by this family. And it turns out Verso is dead. Verso died in the real world. He had died in a fire.
Yeah,
Mael
got
Alicia
burned.
Mael got badly burned, disfigured, and the mother couldn't cope with it, so she went into Verso's world that he had painted and decided to essentially set up camp there and live in his memory.
Yep.
And then
hence Verso in the game is not really Verso. He's just just a thing of.
I mean, just like anyone
that still had its memories. Like it's very, very, very crazy. Very like, I don't know, a unique story. But yeah, once I was shocked. I did not see that coming at all. I was like, what in the world is going on? But once you get there, you're like, okay, this makes sense. I mean, there's all these other paintings in this world. It's like, what is actually going on? But yeah, that was a very cool moment. And then like, you learned that I can't remember who you just said it, but the writers like they attacked the manor, caused the fire.
It's like another faction of creators.
It's like, what do they do? Like they write stories that come to life. Like, do they write out like, hey, like fire, like I want to see more of that. We obviously don't get any more information. But yeah, it's, man, what a cool world that they built.
I was completely floored with that revelation, and it blew me away. Like, it blew me away that they went that route, because it immediately sets up this distortion of what you're viewing as real and what you're viewing as not real. Because you've been adventuring in this world for 30 hours, and then suddenly there's the real world, right? Like the real world on the outside, and like it's all centered around this family of 5. Yep. And you're like, okay, like, well, what does that mean for the time I've spent in here? Whose side am I on? And then you start to see Renoir's side of it. Yeah. Because he just wants to keep his family together, and that's why he goes into the painting, because he wants to bring his wife out. Yeah. And he wants to make his family whole again. And that's what caused the fractures, because he went in, him and his wife fought, and that caused the world itself to fracture. And it turns out this whole time, what's the mom's name? Do you remember?
Aline?
Yeah, I think it's Aline. Yeah, Aline's just been trying to protect the people of this world, and when the number is counting down, that's just her. That's basically her not being able to protect people past a certain age, I guess, because they've been around too long, and she can't protect them anymore. So each year she's protecting less and less people. So she's actually trying to save them, and Renoir is the one that's trying to abolish this world to oblivion.
Yeah, it's very like interesting, and like I said, it's nobody's really right or wrong. I mean, I guess we can kind of get to the end if you want to, is where you ultimately do fight Renoir, and then you beat him, and then you kind of expel him from the painting, and then you have a confrontation with Verso. And Verso is the painted version of the real Verso, who's dead, obviously. And he's like, you should not stay anymore. You should get out of here and go live your life. And Mael is like, no, I can't. I'm burned so bad that I can't even talk anymore. Like, I'm not, I have this whole life here with all these people. So it's like, man, and it forces you to make a decision at the end. It's like, do you side with Verso or do you side with Mael?
And just to back up really quick, this whole time Verso's known. He's known what the expedition is trying to do, and he's essentially been withholding information from the rest of the group.
Pretty much.
But by the end of it, you understand why he's doing what he's doing, but you also understand why Mael would want to stay. in this world. Like you just said, she was, injured. She was disfigured. She couldn't speak. But at the same time, Verso is not the real Verso, but he still thinks that Mael needs to move on. He still loves his sister and thinks that his like, I guess not even his real. I don't know. He loves his sister and thinks she should move on.
Yeah.
But back to what you were saying about making a choice.
Well, I'll jump back too, because like whenever, because at some point, like you can upgrade your friendship levels and stuff to the game, and you eventually get to the point where Mael wants to meet the painted version of herself in this world, and you go through that stage and find Alicia and fight her, and then it's kind of selfish and kind of weird because like she wants to be set free, and Verso at the time is like not happy that she did that without letting him say goodbye and stuff like that, which I understand that too. So yeah, just.
And I guess we should point out you when you fight Renoir, I feel like I keep saying that wrong. Renoir, God, when you fight Renoir, you set him free as well. You set his version inside of the painting. You set him free, and then you do the same for Alicia. So that leaves the curator, like, which is like the human version of. Renoir.
The curator is Renoir, right?
Yeah, the curator is Renoir.
Yeah.
So the person who's been helping you out has been Renoir from the outside, trying to infiltrate and take out Aline.
Yeah.
It's crazy confusing.
Yeah,
because there's two versions of everyone, essentially.
Yeah. It's really a unique story. So like I haven't fought like the siblings either yet, in the painted world. Clair, and I think there's someone else.
There's just one more sibling, but there is someone else that you fight. Yeah.
Okay. So I haven't done that, so I don't know the context of like how, if there's any story involved with that.
Yeah, there's like heavy implications of what she does.
Okay.
For the world. Not a lot. We won't talk about that here, but there's a lot more like story related stuff from her.
Gotcha. Okay.
Section.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess let's just jump to that after you fight the real Renoir, for the I guess the first time. But anyways, you defeat him and you expel him from the painted world, and then you have that big confrontation with Verso, and I believe you chose Verso's side. I chose Mael. I'll do mine first, and you can talk about your ending. And we've obviously seen each other the other ending as well. But after you fight Verso, because it's like a 1-on-1 fight. I guess before we talk about that, who is that? Is that Verso, like a kid version of Verso painting?
Yeah.
Okay,
it's like his soul trapped in the painting, pretty much.
And that's the thing too, is she didn't want to leave because she knew that Renoir would destroy the painting, thus destroying his like fragment of his soul or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, after you defeat Verso, she's kind of holding him, and he's just she wants him to stay in the world and just live together with everybody, because she does not want to leave her world, and she also promises Renoir that, hey, I'm gonna stay a little bit longer, and then I'm gonna come back. But Verso's like, no, I could definitely tell you're lying.
Should we talk about Mael or Alicia being reincarnated as Mael real quick?
Did we not talk about that?
I don't think so. Maybe we did.
Well, I guess Alicia, she goes into the painting.
And then something weird happens, and she
forgets her memory or something like that.
Yeah, and then she gets reborn as Mael.
Completely reborn. Yeah. And grows up in this world. So it's very.
So it's like her life.
And that's why she so desperately wants to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get like her cool like hair turns like white after the revelation.
Cool.
Super cool. All the outfits in this game are hilarious, and it's also like one of those games where it's like I love the outfits, but when there's like a serious moment going on and I've got the baguette costume on Verso with the sunglasses, it's like, all right, I can't take this scene very serious. So
Yeah.
I think like right before the end of it, like the end fight, I switched everybody back to like their normal stuff. But yeah, you defeat Verso, and she's talking to him, and he's just like, I don't want to live in this. I don't want to live in this world.
He's
I
pleading,
don't want to live this life.
Pleading. Yeah.
And that a huge moment, because like he says it a couple times, and then she's like pleading with him, and then he just nonstop saying it. And then I think it cuts to going back to Lumiere, and everybody's reborn or brought back, I guess. It's kind of like the Snap version of the Marvel movies. And then they're in the theater, and everybody's in there. You see Gustav again. You see Sael's husband. You see Sophie with Gustav, and then you see Verso walk onto the stage, and starts playing the piano. And like right before he plays, his hands kind of twitch, like he's not wanting to do it. So you're not quite sure if this is the same Verso that you had that moment with at the very end, or if this is a repainted Verso, but he somehow still has those memories of that. It's a little bit confusing on that regard, but anyways, he starts playing, and then it cuts. Everything goes black and white, and then it cuts to Maëlle, and her face starts to crack. It's a very unnerving scene.
Yeah,
and then it ends.
Yeah, very, very unsettling. The music's kind of dark. Not to say that that's a bad end, like that's the bad ending, because I don't think either one of the endings are necessarily good, depending on how you're looking at it. But yeah, when I went back and watched that ending, and I heard Verso's plea, I was like, damn.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Like, that is really brutal. But yeah, that's a crazy ending. And I, on Maëlle's side, and I will mention, after you defeat the Painters, everyone kind of gets gommaged, right?
Yeah.
Like everyone dies, and then Maëlle is able to bring them back through their Lumina. Wait, how does she bring them back? I guess just because she's able to paint them. Like she's kind of she's one of the painters, so she's able to just bring him back.
Yeah.
But she wasn't able to bring back Gustav because he died from the Nevrons.
Yeah, because
he died from Renoir.
Well, I think that's what all the people that died from, because there is that scene where she's collecting all of their Lumina, I think, and then
their soul, whatever.
And then I think I can't exactly remember how she brings back her friends. I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
That moment was kind of one of those like, hey, you just gotta roll with it. You just gotta roll with whatever logic they're using. But for Maëlle's ending, or not Maëlle's, for Verso's ending, you fight Maëlle, and you kind of expel her out of the world, and then you watch all of your friends around you start to disappear as well.
Yeah.
And there's one moment where you see Lune on the other side of the portal, and she just looks so angry with you, and she just sits down in place because she's just kind of defeated, and you can tell she really hates Verso for what he's done to her world, because that's her whole existence, right? And then after that, it Verso disappears, and it cuts to the real world, and the family is all outside by, what is it, Verso's grave, and they're mourning him, and it appears as if they're in the process of moving on, and they're all together. Maëlle's got the Esquier plushie.
Yeah.
And then it kind of fades up. You see the Eiffel Tower, or whatever version of the Eiffel Tower in the background, and then it fades out. So that, in my opinion, this one ended on a more uplifting note, but it definitely started on a worse note, because you're destroying everyone in this world. You're kind of committing genocide a little bit.
Yeah, we were talking about before the show, but I guess technically this world isn't real, but it's like, well, what does that really mean? And
What does it mean to be real?
because I mean, like Mael literally grew up in this world, 16 years. So it's like
Sael grew up and had a husband, and like,
yeah, you can't
so
take
many
those
people grow up.
experiences away. But it's crazy. It's
I
very unique story.
I almost want to like run a poll or something and see what endings people chose. I'm sure it's pretty split. I'm sure it's split down the middle.
Yeah.
Because you can argue for either one. You can fight for either one. You either fight for the real world and for moving on and for returning to your family, or you fight for, the people of this world that have their own existence and their own experiences, and they've loved and they've lost. Like, just because it's, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could argue that it's not their worlds, it's someone else's, but I mean, you could argue that about our world too. Like, we could be living in a simulation. We could be living in a painted world. I mean, that's what some people think.
Yeah.
But does that nullify our experiences? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. It's interesting. I really, I mean, just like not getting any like real information about like the writers and like the other faction and stuff like that. Like I really hope they do some DLC or this game gets a sequel. I mean, is it sold 2 million yet, or it's over 2 million?
Yeah, it's over 2 million. It's probably close to 3 at this point.
So I think this game is going to do very well, and then I think it has the potential to maybe even like sweep the Game Awards this year. I mean, it's everything about this game is great. The music, just everything is incredible. Best story, best RPG, best looking game. I mean, the game looks incredible.
Yeah. Best combat.
Yeah, best combat for sure. Like it's like so good.
Even by hour 50, the combat still felt incredible. Like
it's fun.
Still keeping you on your toes. It was just really fun. There's so many ways you can like build out your characters. You can be a glass cannon. You can be a parry king.
Yep.
Be a dodge can. Like you can take damage and that'll help you. Like there's like modifiers for that. I don't know if you've done this, but there's like the auto death and then the death explode, or like the death bomb. And then if you pair that with second chance, you immediately start, you die, do a bunch of damage, you can like inflict burn, all that stuff, and then you come back and you can do your turn. And that's what I was doing at the end of the game, because it helps you stack up debuffs on the enemies. And then
I was telling you a little bit about how I got my Versa build, but like Mael specifically, I've got her. So I took second chance off because it took too much of like, it took like, I think it takes like 40 Lumina points. So I have the cheater Picto turned on. So like so what I'll do is I'll use her skill where she goes down to 1 HP and then she gets all of her AP back, and then also goes into virtuous stance. And then with the cheater Picto, you immediately go again, so you don't have to worry about getting killed or attacked or something like that. And then I use like her big I think it's Stadall or Standall, something
Standall,
like that. So I use that. So it's pretty darn effective, which is cool. And then I've got, I'm just it's crazy how like going into like Act 3, you're still peaking at 999,000 damage, and then once or 9,999 damage, and then once you get out of Act 3 and you get that that Picto where you can go over, it's so
like, whoa.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like once you start getting there, it's insane the numbers you can pull off. I mean, I think the highest attack I've done is like 750, and obviously that's nowhere near where you can peak at. So it's just crazy. Like going from then to the beginning of the game.
In the last, I think I probably talked about this last week, but like the very final boss of the game, and this was post patch, so I didn't like take advantage of whatever broken ability that Mael had. I think one of her weapons had like broken scaling. but like I defeated that boss in 1 or 2 turns by just having all of my characters build up around Mael, and then I had her do her big standall attack.
Yeah, once because I got through Lumiere and I fought, I think, Renoir a couple of times. I was like, I think I'm underleveled. So I left. And once I came back, I was probably like 10 or 15 levels from when I was before, and I just easily killed him. Like I was severely overleveled, which is fine. You know, I'm never gonna get mad at being overleveled for grinding. I guess the only gripe I kind of have is like I wish you could. Okay, so I guess 2 things. So I wish when you cleared a painting or a world, it would give you some sort of check mark or something.
Yes,
that you did it. That would be nice. And then also, I wish there was like a fast travel button for go. I know there is one once you get inside of the world. If there's multiple flags, but I wish there was one that could just take you instantly to. I mean, because the traversing in this game is fun with SKA, but it's like, come on, like I kind of just wish
once you've been everywhere, it's
yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think that's some quality of life stuff that would be. I say it's easy to add. I don't know how easy it is to add in, but like that's like a roadmap thing that they can put in a month or 2 from now, and
it's true. Yeah.
You know, that'll be good for the people who haven't played it yet. I mean, honestly, if this game came to Switch too, I would pick it up 100%.
I think I would too. I think I'd pick it up again.
Like
I think it's going to come.
Play through a different build, like or play more with Minoko. I did not utilize him as much.
Yeah, he was definitely my least favorite. Like it's probably like my main party right now is Lune, Mael, and Verso. Sael, like I kind of like her. I kind of don't.
Sael has that really good ability where you can double the damage output one of your characters.
Yeah, so, she does have that.
That one's really good.
Yeah, maybe I should throw her in there instead of Lune.
I would use her in the very late game bosses.
Okay.
Just to buff up either Verso or Mael.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I might end up doing that.
Lune, I used her for most of the game, but by the late game, I couldn't find any really good build with her.
Yeah, she's not like great per se, but she's just like, I don't know. She's just like a constant. Like I've got like I use that wildfire ability a lot for like if I have low AP points, just to get some burn damage going.
Yeah.
Because like my main strategy was like I would try to get burn damage going, and then I would use Mael's, like I can't remember the attack that if they're already burned, you switch into Virtue stance.
Yep.
And then after that, then I would do her big move or something like that.
Man, we're just out here living the same life.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree. Like my main thing I do with her is use wildfire, and then I'll eventually once I get enough AP points, I'll use like the hell move, which is pretty good.
That's good, yeah.
And it's super effective when they're already burned too. That can do with Verso. So, but yeah, I think maybe I should throw in Sael and see how that works with that one ability that she has. But yeah, this game is crazy. I mean, just the build options alone is insane. Where most other JRPGs like this, you kind of once you got a character, that's kind of it. I mean, you can obviously level them up and unlock new abilities, but that's kind of it. And I feel like there's just different ways with each one of these characters to do something different, which is cool.
And I feel like with other RPGs, even if there's classes that you can like switch any character to, like when there's no limitations around classes, you still kind of fall into the general trappings of, okay, I'm going to have a damage dealer, I'm going to have a cleric, and then a mage, like a dark mage of some sort that's doing like magic damage. You kind of like fall into the traps where in this game, you kind of think about how you can actually synergize your characters together, and you don't even have to do that. You can just have them all be, damage dealers, or you can have them, do whatever. Like
the Pictos are a pretty big game changer. Like you can do some really incredible stuff with that, with those, having those on there.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. All right, Nick, I think that's going to wrap it up. I mean, this game, we'll be talking about this definitely during Game of the Year stuff. But yeah, this game is incredible. I highly recommend it to anybody that has not played it yet. If you're listening to this portion, why? But
Why? Yeah, why?
You are. I just highly recommend it because it is one of the best RPGs I've ever played, and one of the best games I would say I've ever played. It's that good.
Harrison, do I need to go play Lost Odyssey?
We do, and I kind of want to do it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it on like Game Pass?
It's not on Game Pass, but I have it, so you can just download it.
Okay.
I have it digitally, so you could just go in and download it.
Okay.
Lost Odyssey is really, really good.
And there's just one game, right? It's not
one game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just one game. I think that was the first game that I actually like teared up in, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact context of what happens, but it's pretty like early on in the story. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool, like, unique world. That's super interesting. And it's very I think the story is very, and not quite, the same as this one, but it's revolutionary. Like, it's like not revolutionary. It's big revelations that happen. Like any good RPG, right? Like Final Fantasy X, like just
that one I need to play through as well.
Have you not played? You haven't played Final Fantasy X, have you?
Not all the way through.
Oh man.
Maybe I should play it on the Switch.
Yeah. Final Fantasy X is really good too. I love that game a lot. Whew.
It's giving me the itch, though. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Like, this is making me want to play like the larger scale, higher budget turn-based games.
Yeah, I think this is going to maybe set a fire in the game industry, because I've seen like a lot of conversation about like just this game alone, like,
it's setting a precedent. Like, hey, you can make these type of games. Like, you don't just have to make like these hot, like super, super high budget 7-year long games that have to sell 5 million copies.
Yeah.
Like these larger developers like Ubisoft and EA, they need to split off smaller strike teams to work on passion projects.
That's the thing, is these people are like ex Ubisoft employees. Some of them were, so
yeah.
They just probably didn't feel like they could get Ubisoft to greenlit something like this, and yeah, what they came up with is which is incredible. All right, well that's going to wrap up the Spoilercast version of or a portion of the show. Let's move on to the news. Nick, I saw some Marathon stuff earlier. Like, I saw Kind of Funny talking about it. I have no idea what's going on with Marathon. What is going on with Marathon?
So
it already didn't look great from its initial alpha.
Dude, they're in like really deep shit. Last week, I think it was on Friday, or like late Thursday. An artist that was unrelated to Marathon came out and said, "Hey, Bungie is stealing my art."
Oh,
and Bungie confirmed it, and they said it was an ex-employee that stole this art. Like, trying to explain what the art is. It's like
an ex-employee of
Bungie that stole the art.
Okay.
I don't know if they let go. They might have just quit.
Okay.
But it was like kind of like just random designs that they would place onto objects. Like, it's this company. Like, you know what I mean? Like on a shipping crate, there's this kind of design for whatever random in-game company, like whatever. So it was those kind of designs, but then people started looking into it more. And
what's going on?
What's going on? I don't know what to name this. People started looking into it more, and it seems like Marathon like kind of ripped their whole aesthetic from this artist.
Okay.
Like, just the entire aesthetic of Marathon. And you can't really like get in trouble for ripping an aesthetic, but like the devs had a stream on Friday, and they planned the stream beforehand to talk about, like, I don't know, changes to the game, like coming out of alpha, going into beta or something like that. And they completely changed their stream to talk about these allegations. And like they spent like an hour and a half like talking through what they were going to do and all this stuff and what precautions they were taking. But the kicker is that this is like the fourth time that this has happened with Bungie, where they've been caught stealing assets or stealing art. Like it happened with Destiny. I think it happened with Destiny like 3 times.
Jeez.
So now it seems like they're like rethinking their launch plans and thinking about, doing their betas differently now. I mean, the game's supposed to launch in September.
Yeah.
And it already didn't really test super well. And like the engagement hasn't really been high, but after this, this
might be it for Bungie, to be honest. I mean, I know it's not the worst thing imaginable, but I mean, to be fair, like I didn't like the way this game looked anyways. Like I just don't think it's a great art style. But I mean, some people like the aesthetic, and that's fine. But yeah, I don't know, man. But Bungie is just not. I mean, I don't think they've ever really been the same since Halo. I never really cared for Destiny. And whatever. I'm not going to judge them for like that style of game, but I don't know. They just have not been quite the same.
It's not the same company. I don't think it is at all. And
they've had management issues. Yeah, this is bad. I think, man, PlayStation just has not had good luck with these recent.
It's not even luck. They're actively shooting themselves.
Yeah,
in the foot.
I mean, I think they overpurchased Bungie anyways, like $3 billion for. I don't know. I just didn't see why. I mean, maybe it was worth for 3. I mean, I don't know, but. I
mean, for what though?
Like all they have is Destiny. Like that's it. Like I never understood why they needed to purchase them to begin with. Like maybe publish the next game. Or
I mean, it was all part of their plan of like these live service titles. As part of their pillar of we're gonna have 12 live service games.
And then you had Bungie, people going out to the various studios to kind of critique. And I'm sorry, like I guarantee you, like Naughty Dog probably would do a way better job of doing like a live service game at this point. I mean, because like I said, like Marathon just doesn't look great at all. Yeah, it's tough. It's definitely tough.
And I really don't get it because Destiny 2 and Destiny 1, they've had so many issues with their players. Like I feel like it's constantly shifting between hot and cold with their player base. Like it doesn't seem like Bungie has a great grasp on what their players want. And now, this is probably driven by Sony, but they're chasing this extraction shooter thing and like Arc Raiders is like that came out of nowhere and that one is taking all the attention away. And now people are calling a Marathon Arts Raiders, like stealing other people's art. So like that's just not a good one either. So they just can't catch a break. I mean, they tried to copy Overwatch, and now they're trying to copy extraction shooters. So it's not going to work.
Yeah, not at all. And and as fickle as gamers are, like they're gonna tell you how it is, and
they're not going to forget.
Extraction shooters are already like pretty niche. It's not a huge genre like a battle royale is.
It's like niche until it's not. It's niche until it's Helldivers. It's niche until it's Arc Raiders. Even though that was like a closed alpha, but
yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Bungie shut down in the next few years. To like, sad to see.
Sucks.
But I don't know. All right, well let's move on to Switch 2 review units are not going out, and the games will not be going out before launch. So meaning everybody is getting Switch 2 in the games at the same time. So I think you tweeted it out that what did you say that
I said
websites?
Like the basically the IGNs of the world, the gaming media sites are going to have to fight the average Joe for viewership and for attention. Whereas like I can go to the midnight launch and and post an unboxing, and I'm right on time, like I'm right in line with the timing of IGN.
Yeah.
Theoretically, I mean, they might get it like a few days early.
Probably. Well, will they get it early?
But I don't know.
I think they get it at the same time. I think everybody's on the same.
I think they said like you'll get it at launch or close to launch, something like that, and then of course all the people, or not all the people, but some of the people were complaining about having Summer Games Fest at the same time as the Switch 2 launch, and
you got to prioritize.
Yeah, I mean,
you're a big enough place where you can send people to one thing, and then the other team's going to miss Summer Games Fest and review the Switch 2 in the games, or vice versa.
Mm.
I mean, that's just the way it goes. I mean, like that's their job, and that's their way to figure that kind of stuff out. That's not the the regular, but it's a console launch. Like, like people who have already pre-ordered the thing are already getting it. Like, I don't need to know what IGN's opinion is on the Switch 2. I don't really need them to tell me how good or how bad Mario Kart is. Like, this is the time. This is like the time where people, and we definitely have in the past made mistakes with our purchases because stuff like 1-2 Switch. Like,
yeah.
Like, I would never buy that game again in a million years.
It's like the time to buy Welcome Tour. It's
gosh. You still have time, Nintendo, to walk that back.
Yep, still pack it in.
Dragon Drive continues to look awful.
It looks like absolute ass. Can't wait to play it.
Yeah, I can't wait to play it. 9 out of 10. And we don't know a price of that yet, right? Like,
no, we don't. We know next to nothing about
it. Needs
game.
To be free.
I'm pretty sure Nintendo knows next to nothing about the game because it doesn't look like a full experience at all.
When do you think we'll get because like we really don't know much about like the Switch 2 games that are coming. Like, obviously Metroid Prime is coming out. That's coming out on both. Bonanza is in July. Pokemon, ZA is technically still a Switch 1 game, so we know nothing else about Switch 2 games.
I think there will be a direct
in June, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Okay. Have it like the Wii. I don't know.
Yeah, because we've got to get like what's coming out for later on after. I'm not worried about it, but it would be nice to know about some other stuff in the other stuff on the horizon with Switch 2.
Yeah, I mean, have you thought about launch games anymore? Are you teetering on certain games? What's your mindset? Before launch.
Bravely Default is like really the only one I can think of that I want to pick up. For sure. Like, I'm definitely going to dabble like in Pokemon and all the games that are getting the free upgrades, which we'll talk about here in a second. So I want to try all that stuff out. And that's like maybe like the most disappointing thing about the Switch 2 launch is like, yes, Mario Kart is very exciting, but everything else is just kind of like, okay, our games get to run better. So that's a little bit like, I mean, we talked about it before, but there's not like that big single player game. And I really think that's missing for this launch of this console. But, we get, Donkey Kong in July and, and whatever else in the near future.
Yeah.
The Kirby's DLC, like I'm pretty excited for that. Jamboree, I'm going to pass on. I never bought that game anyways. Harry Potter, we got I bought the Switch 1 version and then got it super cheap with that sale. And then, good guy Warner Brothers are here for the first time, with their $10 upgrade. If you already owned it,
first time in their life.
Yeah, is awesome. So I ended up spending, I think like maybe 15 or 16 because I had like some gold points left over. So like it was like $15 total. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I haven't played Hogwarts Legacy. So I'm excited. I'm going to boot it up first just to see it.
Right. See how that, I mean,
on the Switch 1 version,
it's like not open world. You load in between zones.
Yeah. It's a pretty different game.
Yeah.
And the Switch 2 version is a completely different game. It's not just an upgrade. It's like a completely different version of the game. It's like the Xbox Series S and X and PlayStation 5 version ported over to the Switch 2. So that's pretty interesting.
And like with Hogwarts Legacy and games like Cyberpunk, they're kind of positioning those games as like, oh, these are the premium single player experiences that you're going to have at launch.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm to be honest, I'm teetering on Cyberpunk because the more I see of it, the better it looks. But I'm
It
still
looks
like
good, man. It looks like it's like
$70
the
though
best.
for.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I don't really want to spend $70. Um, I don't know. That may be something that I pick up later on, like on sale or something like that, just to try it out. I think I'm gonna have enough stuff to play and a lot of like testing to do for the foreseeable future with the Switch 2. But see, Bravely Default is probably the only other one that I can think of that I may end up picking up. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, Nick, you want to talk about the Switch 2 upgrades?
Yeah, so the Nintendo has finally detailed exactly what these upgrades are for the Switch 1 games that are getting free upgrades on the Switch 2 on day 1. So there's 12
And you have
games.
to have NSO, right, to get these upgrades?
I don't think so.
Or are they just free?
Okay. I think they're just free.
Okay. Good job, Nintendo.
Connect to the internet. So there's 12 games. I'll go through them one by one and detail them out. First game is Arms, which this is an interesting one. Because why
It's
Arms?
random.
Why
It
Arms?
is so random.
The updates include visualization optimized for the Switch 2 display and high-resolution TVs for improved image quality, and frame rate has been optimized for Switch 2 for smoother movement, even when playing with 3 or more players. It also has HDR support. Pretty big upgrades, it seems.
Yeah.
Big Brain Academy, Brain vs. Brain. It's getting game share support. Up to 4 people can play in party mode, and then it has share locally or share online via game chat.
Okay.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Visuals optimized for the Switch 2. High-res HDR support. Improved image quality, and then game share support. 2 people can play all of the courses together and via game chat.
Okay.
Do you have Captain Toad on the Switch?
I do. Yeah, I love that game.
I think
we
I need to pick it up.
I think we ended up in 100%. I think we 100%ed it actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Clubhouse games. That one's getting game share support. Up to 4 people can play 34 games, and then you can share locally via game chat. Game Builder Garage. It's getting mouse controls and visual improvements. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Getting a visual upgrade. So presumably going, to 1440p? Maybe to 1080p? I don't know what it was at before. I think it was at 1080. So maybe up to 1440. It ran at 60 frames, so it'll stay there. The important ones, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, getting visual upgrades and frame rate improved for smoother movement on the Switch 2.
Wow.
And we've seen some comparison screenshots already. We haven't seen any videos, but it does look better. It looks more dense.
Sharper.
Looks sharper.
The game is still like not a good looking game anyway.
No, it's an ugly as sin. It really is. And those legendaries.
It's got a face only a mother can let. Yeah, they're horrible. Like
those things are so ugly.
Yeah, they're so weird.
Such potential. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. This one's interesting. On the visual side, optimized for Switch 2 display and high-resolution TVs. Frame rate, optimized for smoother movement on Switch 2, including Bowser's Fury. HDR support only for Bowser's Fury. And then game share support, up to 4 people can play 3D World. And then Bowser's Fury, up to 2 people can play together. I did boot up 3D World, and I jumped into Bowser's Fury on handheld. And that runs at 30 frames. So that's going to get boosted up to 60.
That's cool.
And then I'm assuming 3D, like the 3D World, like the main game is going to get boosted up to either 1080p or 1440p.
Okay.
So good upgrades. Super Mario Odyssey, visual upgrades, probably going to 1440p, HDR support, and then game share. And then finally, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and Link's Awakening, both having visual upgrades as well as HDR support. There's no mention of performance upgrades, but I think that's because the games already run, quote unquote, at 60 frames. So we're just going to see like a locked 60 rather than an unlocked 60. Those I'm excited to try. I mean, I'm really interested to see how those shake out.
Yeah.
So after playing Link's Awakening today, pretty janky.
Yeah.
In the overall world.
Yeah. I mean, I recently finished up
Echoes of Wisdom.
Echoes of Wisdom, and it's got some performance issues for sure.
Did you go back and finish Super Mario Wonder?
I did play it recently, and I beat another world, but I haven't finished it.
Okay. Super Mario RPG?
No, I haven't touched that in a while.
Okay. Just checking in. Oh, this is completely unrelated, but I forgot to ask you earlier. What's your status on Oblivion? Are you still gonna play it?
I want to dabble some more. Like I played a very limited amount. It just came right before Clair Obscur came out. That I definitely wanted to give that the time that it deserved, and definitely rightfully so. So yeah, I want to dabble. I don't know if I'm gonna like finish the game or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, what about you?
I might dabble a little bit more.
Yeah,
but like, it's a Bethesda game.
Yeah, I mean it's there. If I ever want to like jump in,
right?
Like I'll probably do a couple of like the guilds and stuff like that. Because those are a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't foresee myself like beating it anytime soon. So
right.
Yeah. But
well, shoot. Cool. Anything else? That was it for the game upgrades.
Yeah. No, I think that's I think that's everything. We're like I said, we're a couple of weeks away from this thing. I'm still very, very excited. You and I both got the GameCube pre-order, the controller pre-ordered, so that was cool. I did notice that I guess the Unobo Amiibo, I could have purchased it, but I didn't realize that I could in the store. So, which whatever. I still got my pre-orders for the other three, so
we'll see.
Whatever. We'll see how I'm feeling.
Open invitation if you do want to come to the midnight release. If you want to come up here,
okay.
You can always drive back in the morning.
This is true.
If you want to experience the midnight release, then
I mean, Walmart says 9 a.m. guaranteed.
Okay.
So I'm gonna trust them. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling.
Okay.
Let's see how I'm feeling.
I don't know. We could get some energy drinks in line. I heard GameStop was giving out. I think they're giving out
pro members only, by the way.
Yeah, they giving out Red Bull. 1 Red Bull per pro member.
That's insane.
That's
I love
amazing.
GameStop.
Yeah, dude. Can't.
I talk a lot of shit about GameStop over the years, but like low key, I kind of love them because they're just so.
I feel like they're coming around. They're past the Funko phase.
Well, yeah. I mean, they still definitely have all that stuff in there. I mean, it's pretty. I've been to my local GameStop a lot more here frequently, just because my son getting into Pokemon cards and stuff like that, and it definitely still feels like it's more of like a novelty store than anything else. Like I don't see a lot of people getting games there when I'm personally in there. It is just a lot of cards and other things. We actually went there. We sent a few other cards to get graded because you can send your stuff to get graded through PSA through them. There's people in line. It was like 5 p.m. and people were in line like camping out overnight for like the Pokemon set that was going to come out the next day. Some guy had been there since like noon, so he's doing like a full 24 hours. It's insane.
Is it limited to like?
I think it's 2 per person.
2 packs?
And there was like, well, it's like a big set. It's like a $100 like big set, like a collector's like edition or something like that, with a whole bunch of packs and then like other goodies. But I love Pokemon right now, but I'm not gonna do that. That's just crazy. Like I'm all for like a midnight launch and getting in line. Like I got no issues with that. And again, this is no judgment to people that do that, but with a video game, you're guaranteed something. With Pokemon, I don't want to wait 24 hours in line to gamble. Essentially,
I'm gonna judge him a little bit. I'm going full judgment because you're kind of taking that experience away from kids who don't have the luxury of waiting in line for 24 hours.
Yeah,
and they shouldn't have the luxury. I don't know what they're doing, but like, how do you have 24 hours to wait in line? And Sorry, I'm being judgy. I've been seeing
Well,
videos.
that's when like the whole like unemployed thing. It's like, oh, I'm employed. What's going on? Like
Yeah,
when when some stupid news happens. But yeah, whenever I see like people camping out, like that's the first thing that's in the comments is like,
what are you doing?
it's like how do people have time? And anyways, judgment free zone here. Maybe it's like
I was seeing this question that was being like posed on Twitter, and it was talking about Pokemon cards, and it said if you had been like waiting in line all day to get cards, and you were getting the last set of cards, and you look behind you and there's a kid who is obviously wanting to get some cards, would you let go of your spot in line? And the majority of people were saying, "Nah, fuck that kid." Like, should have gotten there earlier. Like,
I mean,
the real world.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that, but maybe in that scenario, if like GameStop's like, hey, we're limited to 2 per person, which I think is crazy. I hate that. When just do one, one. But so if I was like that person online, there was 2 left, and technically I could get 2, and I look back and that kid's there.
Fuck that kid.
Fuck that kid. No, I would. I wouldn't get. I would, because I try to teach that to Kellen. Like, you know, we all went to like one time we went into like Five Below and they had like 6 packs, so we got like 4. I was like, let's just leave 2 for somebody else. Now, granted, it probably wasn't a kid; it was probably some.
That's probably that guy,
large man, pushing 40s, unemployed,
perpetually unemployed.
Perpetually. Oh, scalpers,
just the worst breed. Just joy suckers.
Joy suckers. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, enough of that talk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week. No new game releases, right? For a little while. Nothing more crazy coming out.
There's the Sea of Stars DLC that's coming out tomorrow, but
okay, that's tomorrow.
Yeah, May 20th.
Damn. Okay. Well, I'm excited for that.
But nothing else.
Night Rain comes out. The 30th.
I keep forgetting that game is coming out.
You're not excited for Night Rain?
I don't know, man.
You don't like?
Well, I didn't have a good experience because I got booted out of every single game that I played. So it's hard to say. Like, it's hard to be confident about my purchase, but it's also $40, and we'll split it probably. So it's only $20. So,
yeah. Breaking news though, Nick. Breaking news on Fantasy Critic with the incredible game Clair Obscur Expedition 33 getting a riveting 92 on Open Critic. We are now tied at 68 points apiece.
Did you had Clair Obscur, right?
I did, yeah.
What's next? You have Elden Ring.
So I've got Night Rain, which you counterpicked.
Yeah, baby.
And that one, I mean, I could go. It could go either way. It may suck. I don't know. And then you got Mario Kart World, Death Stranding 2, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, which I see you've been doing a little bit of little hustling on the side here, picking these up. I got Mafia, Donkey Kong coming up later on in the year, and then you've got a whole bunch of games coming.
But I did have a big loss, and I lost Grand Theft Auto 6, and you counterpicked that, which is very good because you're not losing any points.
Yeah, I don't lose any points. You don't gain any points essentially. So that's a big one. But you also can't drop it. So if somehow you fill it up, there's gonna be the one you can't.
I think I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it one bit. You're sneaking up.
Sneaking up, and I got some bangers. I mean, I still got Hollow Knight that could come out.
I mean, that's coming out this year.
Doom also got an 86 too, so that definitely helped.
And you had Doom
as well. Yeah, I had Doom, and then also had Oblivion, which got an 82, so that got me some points as well. So I just had a slew of some pretty good ones. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff, yeah.
Oh.
So, yeah, man, I still need to play. I need to play more Splitfiction too. Have you played any more since?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah, I
You
need to
keep
play that
asking,
more
we
because
should
that's
play.
that's something we haven't really talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's tough. This co-op games are tough.
You both
to
have to be in
play.
the right mindset. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
We yeah, I might have to persuade her to play this weekend since we got a long weekend, especially maybe like Monday or something. So, all right, guys, we've been kind of rambling here. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back next week with more gaming, more crazy news, all that good stuff. So, we'll if you can review us on your favorite podcasting platform of choice, that would be greatly appreciated. Tell your friends about us. Tell them that you listen to the greatest gaming podcast ever that had two brothers that named Harrison and Nick. It's the greatest. Bye, everyone.